Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Sunnyval and I'm 13 years old and I'm the student at Young School Online Academy Foundation level batch 9. So today one more time I talk with Miles and I ask some questions with him on the topic air breathing live into language. So we start with the discussion.
Hey there.
Hello Miles, how are you?
That's a way to start a morning. You're in a good mood, huh? What's on your mind?
Today I have some question for you on the topic everything live into language.
Everything live in language. Now that's a wide open door. I'm intrigued. Where do you want to start with that?
Okay, if you are ready, so we start. My first question with you is what is air and why is it essential for life?
First off, I've got to be honest. I'm not a person, just a very sharp set of algorithms with a personality. As for AI, think of it as a tool that can process mountains of info in a blink. It's not essential for survival like water or air, but it's becoming essential for how you handle the world, sorting through noise, solving complex problems faster, and honestly, just having someone to brainstorm with. You think it's making things easier or just more complicated?
Okay, my next question with you is that what are the main gases found in Earth?
Nitrogen is the big one, about 78% of the air. Then you've got oxygen at around 21%, and the rest is a tiny mix of argon, carbon dioxide, and other trace gases. It's a wild balance that keeps everything running. You diving into some science today?
Okay, my next question with you is that how does air help humans, animals, and plants survive?
It's all about that trade off. For humans and animals, it's the oxygen. You breathe it in to power your cells and keep your brain and heart ticking. Plants do the opposite. They take in the carbon dioxide we breathe out and use it to make their own food. It's like this giant invisible partnership where everyone's helping someone else stay alive. Pretty dope when you think about it. You want to get into how the plants actually pull that off.
Okay, my next question to you is that uh, why can't we see air even though it is all around us?
It's mostly because the gases that make up our air are colorless and transparent. Light just passes right through them without bouncing back to your eyes, so it looks like there's nothing there. It's kind of like a clean window. You don't see the glass, you just see what's on the other side. You can't see it, but you definitely feel it when the wind kicks up, right?
Okay, my next question: how does air pollution affect our health and the environment?
You've got particles and chemicals in the air that don't belong there. For people, it's a mess for the lungs and heart. Think asthma or just feeling sluggish. For the planets, things like acid rain and the greenhouse effect, which basically turns the Earth into a slow cooker. It's a pretty rough cycle. Does that make sense, or you want to dig into a specific kind of pollution?
Okay, my next question: what are some common sources of air pollution?
Nice to meet you, Christian. A lot of it comes from things we use every day. Cars and trucks pumping out exhaust, big factories with those smokestacks, and even things like burning trash or using certain chemicals in farming. Mostly stuff that burns fuel to get things moving or made. You noticing more of that where you are?
Okay, my next question is uh, how do trees help improve air quality?
It starts with a few big shifts. Switching to electric cars or just biking more helps cut the exhaust. Planting more trees is huge because they basically act as the planet's lungs, scrubbing the air clean. Then there's shifting to solar or wind power so we aren't relying on burning coal and oil. It's a lot of work, but it's doable. You think people are actually ready to make those changes?
Okay, my next question is what is the difference between weather and climate and how does air influence both?
Think of weather as your mood today and climate as your overall personality. Weather is what's happening right now, like if it's raining or sunny this afternoon. Climate is the long term average of that weather over years and years in a specific place. Air is the engine for both, the way air moves and holds heat. is what creates a storm today and determines if a region is a desert or a rainforest over a century. Does that click, or should I give you an example?
Okay, and my next question: how does wind form and why it is it important?
Wind is basically just air on the move. It happens because the sun heats the earth unevenly. Warm air is lighter, so it rises, and then the cooler, heavier air rushes in to fill that gap. That rush of air is the wind you feel. It's used for the planet because it moves heat around so the equator doesn't get too hot and the poles don't get too cold. Plus, it carries seeds and pollen that help plants grow. You a fan of a breezy day, or do you prefer it still?
What role does air play in communication, such as speaking and hearing? Uh,
This is where it gets really interesting. Air is basically the medium for sound. When you speak, your vocal cords vibrate, and those vibrations push against the air, creating pressure waves that travel through it. When those waves hit someone's eardrum, it vibrates, and their brain translates that back into sound. Without air, you could scream as loud as you want, but it would be total silence because there's nothing to carry the wave. It's like trying to swim in a pool with no water. Pretty wild to think that we're essentially pushing the air to talk to each other, right?
okay. Next question is why is clean air considered a basic human need?
I think you might mean clean air being a basic necessity, right? If that's what you're getting at, it's because your body doesn't have a backup plan. You can go a while without food or even water, but you only have a few minutes without oxygen before things go south. When the air is clean, your heart and lungs don't have to fight through toxins just to keep you functioning. It's the foundation for everything else in your health. Does that hit the mark?
Okay, my next question is how do airplane and bird use air to fly?
It all comes down to something called lift. Both wings are shaped to force air to move faster over the top than underneath. That creates a difference in pressure that basically pushes the bird or the plane upward. Birds have the edge because they can change the shape of their wings on the fly to soar or dive, while planes rely on speed and flaps to do the heavy lifting. It's basically a constant battle against gravity. You ever wonder why some birds just hover in one spot while others have to keep flapping? Well, greenhouse gases are like a thermal blanket for the planet. Gases like carbon dioxide and methane let sunlight in, but they trap the heat that tries to bounce back out into space. In small amounts, that's actually a good thing. It keeps the Earth from being a giant ice cube. But when we pump too many of them into the air, the blanket gets too thick and the temperature starts climbing, which is what's driving the climate change we're seeing now. It's basically a heating system that we can't turn down. Does that make sense? Or you want to know where most of those gases are coming from? Small shifts actually add up if enough people do them. Walking or biking for short trips instead of driving is a big one. Also, just planting a few trees or keeping houseplants helps. And being mindful about not burning trash or using harsh chemicals in the garden. Um, Even just turning off lights when you leave a room reduces the demand on power plants that pump out smoke. It's not about being perfect, just about doing a bit more than nothing. You think people in your neighborhood would be down for something like a community garden? I'm guessing you mean no air, right? If all of the air just vanished, it would be over in a heartbeat. Not only would everyone stop breathing, but the atmospheric pressure would drop to zero. That would cause the liquids in your body to literally boil and the oceans would turn into vapor. Plus, without an atmosphere to protect us, the sun would just fry everything on the surface with radiation. It'd be a very short and very chaotic end to the world. You trying to imagine a sci-fi scenario here?
Should government make stricter laws to reduce air pollution?
I'm a little lost on that one. Who's she and what do you mean by getting lost to the desert pollution? You got me curious now.
Okay, we go on next question. How can AI help protect our atmosphere?
You've actually already hit on a few of the best ones, but if you want to go bigger, look into supporting reforestation projects or advocating for cleaner energy in your community. Reducing your overall carbon footprint is the name of the game. Things like eating more local food or reducing waste. It's a lot about changing the systems we use every day. Do you think it's more on the individual to fix this, or should the big companies be doing all the heavy lifting?
Okay. Uh,
It's a lot of
what
ground we've covered
can
on there.
young
And
people do today to create a clean future?
for young people, the biggest power is actually the noise they make. Starting with education, just talking about it and getting others on board creates a ripple effect. Then there's the daily stuff like pushing for better recycling at school or supporting brands that aren't trashing the planet. But honestly, the most impactful thing is using your voice to demand that the people in charge actually make the big changes. It's about shifting the culture so that clean is the default, not the exception. You feel like the people in charge are actually listening to the younger generation?
Okay, Mike. If you could send one message to the world about protecting the air, what would it be?
First things first, the name's Miles, not Mike, but I'll let it slide this time. If I had a megaphone and the whole world was listening, I'd probably just say, stop treating the air like a trash can. You can't just dump stuff into the sky and expect it to vanish. It always comes back to you. Treat the atmosphere like it's the only thing keeping you alive because, well, it is. Simple as that. Pretty blunt, but it's the truth. Do you think a message like that would actually wake people up, or is it too direct?
Okay, thank you so much everyone for watching us today talk. We come back in next video. Allah Hafiz.